And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, always providing you the truth and the timely truths and that consumer advocate advice here around 80 different categories of show contents and ideas of ways to help you live a better life. 50 plus show partners here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we have a little different flair here. We want to entertain, educate, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage with you so that we can help you win in all these different areas of business and finance and real estate and credit improvement, identity theft prevention we're going to talk about today as well on the show. So we want you to save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it, 813-670-7372. 813-670-7372. Consumer Quarterback Show, and consumerqb.com is the website, consumerqb.com, and we're going to help you win in any marketplace. Save our hotline number. You used to call me on my cell phone. consumerqb.com, a plethora of information available there on our website as well. Intelligent Talk Radio, I've got some intelligent folks here in studio, and we also have Clyde Smith on the phone. We're going to go right to Clyde after this. Let's introduce our in-studio guest, Captain Will Smith. Welcome in studio, sir.
Good to see you, Brian. Happy New Year.
Yeah, man. Things are good.
Good.
Yes,
How
sir.
you been?
Doing well.
All right,
rocking and rolling.
Awesome, man.
Yes, sir. So we're going to talk about your two books. We got an author in studio, Falling from the Sky and Ditches to Riches.
That is correct. We're making big moves this year with that, helping people overcome adversity.
I love it.
Because a lot of people want to start the new year with a positive mindset, and that's what we're doing.
Love that. Also, retired Master Sergeant H.L. Allen. Welcome in studio, ID Shield.
Good to see you, Brian. Happy New Year to you.
Hey, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you.
So we're going to jump into that as well, talk about, some of the things happening out there. Approximately 15 million United States residents have their identities used fraudulently each year. So that's a big part of, what's happening out there in that cyberspace. So we're going to educate you there as well. But let's go to the phones. We've got Clyde Smith. He's the general manager of the Bilmar Beach Resort, giving us that beach update. Hey, Clyde, how you doing over there?
Hey, Brandon, I'm doing fantastic. It's a gorgeous day over here on Treasure Island. We've got guests enjoying the pools, the beach, and all the great restaurants in the area.
Yeah, I love it, man. What a great place to go and hang out. And 90% of the rooms overlooking the Gulf of Mexico, is that right?
They do. 2/3 of those even have kitchenettes in them. So if you want to get up and do breakfast on your own, or you can come down to the cafe and let us cook it up for you.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's awesome because families a lot of times if they're making that vacation down to Florida that once a year or once every 5 years for some families, they're making that vacation. That's a big point because they can buy some eggs and bread and make some toast and eggs, and they can cook and save some money in the room. There's lots of different options if they want to.
Absolutely. You don't want to have every meal in the room just because you're down here to relax and have vacation, but it's certainly a great option. We have the Publix just a block away and Walgreens right across the street. So, all those staples are right there. Walk. You don't have to drive anywhere once you're here. Even if you want to go somewhere else, you have the free beach rides that runs up and down between St. Pete Beach, Treasure Island, and Madeira Beach. It's really convenient.
Very convenient, yeah, as well. And I've even had them take me to downtown, from the beaches as well. They've taken me downtown before for evening entertainment or whatnot. But, so Clyde Smith on the line here, Bilmar Beach Resort. And we always say book direct. There's a lot of these online search engines that promote certain things. But, we say book direct, right, Clyde?
We really do. And there's a lot of advantages to doing that. You can call us. Our professional staff can just, find out what your needs are. Sometimes on the third-party sites, they don't call the rooms the same thing that you would think what they are. So sometimes people will book a room and, a few of our rooms don't have a balcony, and that may be real important to someone. So on our website, you've got a picture of every room, actually even a diagram of the room. We really build our website to be who we are. We don't try to, mask it to look like anything else. We are what you see. And or call us directly, and we'll just find out what your needs are, what you're looking to accomplish. And, we have 8 different room types between our penthouse suites and our poolside rooms. And then, again, the majority of the ones that are beachfront. So we'll find out what's best for you, and guaranteed you get the best rate right here, especially once you've stayed with us. Once you're in our records, forever you get what we call our bounce-back rate, and it's the guaranteed lowest rate. This week it'd be 20% off. During spring break, it's not quite that much because everyone's so busy.
Yep.
But throughout the year, you get special savings that you can only get by coming to us directly.
You got Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant, the world famous Sloppy Joe's, right on site as well.
Well, we've got a big thing coming up there on Sunday the 2nd, Super Bowl Sunday. We project a 35-foot high-def screen onto our 4-story building with surround sound. We have the best Super Bowl party in town. It's unbelievable. You start off watching the sunset from the deck, and we open up our pool deck to, outside customers for the only day of the year we do that. And then we project it on there. Our guests staying in the 8-story buildings with balconies, they sit on their balcony eating cheeseburgers, watching a 35-foot high-def screen. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
This will be our 16th year doing it, so it's definitely a tradition, one of our many traditions we have here on Treasure Island.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Bilmar Beach Resort, Treasure Island itself is just so cool, too. There's so many things to do, from the beaches, and then you actually have a lot of on-site, included with the resort fee, a lot of on-site amenities as well.
We do. In fact, just got a new shipment of bicycles for the guests to use. You can go up and down the 1-mile beach trail here on Treasure Island. We just got a new Peloton bike for our fitness center. We're excited about that. We've had a lot of requests for it, so we went out and got one. I literally plugged it in 20 minutes ago. So that's an exciting thing for the people that want to stick with their routine even while they're traveling.
Yeah.
And then our beach chairs, and, as soon as the water warms up, like I said, it's not for me, but I know our Michigan friends are loving it right now. They go down or using the kayak and paddleboard that's available to every guest every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the gym's there. You can get the workout in the fitness center, and the Peloton. That's a cool addition, man.
That really is. I didn't even know what all came with it. You can stream it up to our TVs and do yoga, all sorts of different activities. It's more than I thought it was, so I'm excited.
Yeah, that's really cool. So we got
Clyde
learning
Smith. Yoga myself. We'll see.
Clyde Smith here in studio or on the phones, and Clyde. Now, when you look at the beaches too, and comparing like the East Coast of Florida to the West Coast, and I always say the West Coast is the best coast, especially here in Tampa Bay. You've got what you've coined as the Two-Beer Beach. It's just a huge beach, man, and that's not the norm.
No, it really is. And it's unique because our beach grows just a little bit every year as some of the others get the tides taking away the sand. It brings it right to the middle of Treasure Island, and so it's nice. It is a deep beach. As you know, we jokingly call it the Two-Beer Beach to get down there. But once you're there, though, it's so quiet. You don't hear the noise from other hotels that you hear when the kids yelling Marco Polo and the restaurants. You're down there by yourself. It's so peaceful. They have a great service that rents cabanas down there. Guy named Turbo that takes care of everyone like you're a VIP, and it's a nice place to be, and the water's just gorgeous. We've had some of the bluest water in the years that I've been here. So great place to be, great place to walk. You can walk up and down the beach to both ends. It's only a 3-mile long beach of Treasure Island, so it's wonderful. You go to the passes, and there's some other bars on the beach in addition to our too. So lots to do. Yeah,
I love it, and especially we're a member of Freedom Boat Club and a longtime member of that club. So there's Freedom Boat Club right around you as well. So you could do a day at the beach, a day on the boat, and
that is just 2 blocks away. They've got a great service for the Freedom Boat Club.
Yeah, it's so cool. And then you can swim up to the beach or however you want to navigate the waters and just enjoy what Tampa Bay is all about. Just getting out there, spending quality time with family, enjoying that downtime. And I believe that stress, they say, is the number one killer. So these types of vacations or even local staycations here in Tampa Bay, Bilmar Beach Resort, one of the best ways to extend your life, man.
Yes, you mentioned downtown, which is such a vibrant part of our community now, and it's only 7 miles straight up Central Avenue, dead ends right into my driveway. So it's a straight shot right down there. That opens up the museums, the other side of the bay, and just so many other activities for people to enjoy, concerts, and so much to do. So it's a convenient location. We're right in the center of all of Tampa Bay, and hopefully some of your listeners will be able to get a chance to come over and see us.
Yeah, the Bilmar Beach Resort right there on Treasure Island, Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island. And what percentage would you say? I guess it may be hard to kind of break into numbers, but we talk about those staycations. The people from Polk County coming over, the people from maybe up north coming, North Florida. How many people are in the area coming over? I imagine
it is really seasonal. So once we get to later in July, we're at least 50% are within your listening area, and they come over Orlando, Polk County. It's very interesting, even down from Sarasota County, because there's just not a whole lot to do down there compared to what all we have to offer, in the Tampa Bay area. So they come over from that way. Often they're right from up the street, Seminole, Pinellas Park. So it's about 50% once we get past the spring season. During spring break I think the entire state of Indiana will be here this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually.
Yeah.
And our friends from Ohio, a lot of Michigan, so that they kind of take up that prime spring break time. And, it is higher rates during that time because of the pressure. But we honor year-round. We have that resident rate. Florida resident, and then certainly the 2-county residents get the best value because you're our neighbors. So we appreciate them coming, and that's who take care of our staff and our community, in those off seasons.
That's right. All right. Well, hey, thanks for calling in, Clyde. Give us that beach update. Things happening over there at Bilmar Beach Resort, Sloppy Joe's, Treasure Island, and we appreciate you, man.
Fantastic. Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well. Thanks,
Bye.
Clyde. All right, that's the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Bilmar Beach Resort right there on Treasure Island. And when we come back, we got more from our expert contributors here in studio. And you all heard about this downed plane happening over Iran. I'm going to talk to Captain Will Smith about that next, coming up, and get it from a captain's perspective, as well as his 2 books. We're going to talk about his 2 books as well. And later in the show, H.L. Allen here in studio, we're going to talk about that growing epidemic that we have of identity theft here in the United States and more. So stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62, who knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62, who knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember. Ask to me about
Yes.
To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Battles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. We've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate you tuning in to the Consumer Quarterback Show right here on AM 860 The Answer. Got a weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone Sunday mornings as well. You can catch our TV show version as well on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Just tune in on Binge Networks. You can see our TV show version right there on Apple, Amazon, Roku, and Sony TV, 85 other outlets. We Beam TV as well here in Tampa Bay, and we want to help you win in any marketplace. Big shout out to the Golf Cart Depot. Check them out online, Golf Cart Depot, and shout out to Marty and his team over there. They do a great job. They've got new and used golf carts available, huge inventory, lots of inventory, and whether you're thinking something for business use, commercial use, or personal use, they've got all the name brands as well: Easy Go, Star, Citicar, and Tomberlin carts as well. So come on in, give a test drive, and let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives. And they've got 2 great locations here in Tampa Bay. If you're on the north side of Tampa, you want to go to the Land O'Lakes location just off of US 41 North up in Land O'Lakes. And then also in Pinellas County, right off of US 19 in Clearwater. You see them right on the side of the main road there, US 19. Golf Cart Depot. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And you can see there, if you're watching our TV show version, there's my new cart that we got hooked up with there. Awesome opportunity to enjoy Tampa Bay, you know, that Tampa Bay lifestyle on Golf Cart Depot. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, here in studio today, Captain Will Smith in the house, longtime friend of the program, one of our longest expert contributors, matter of fact, 6 or 7 years now.
Yes.
Going on quite a while.
I know, yes.
So, so yeah, man, good things happening. We've, followed each other's, career and doing a lot of good stuff out there, helping people with your books. I know that's your most, passion. I can just see the passion coming out, with the books, helping people, Falling from the Sky and Ditches to Riches.
That's correct. Yeah, I started, it was kind of it was a storyline that started from where I came from, and it developed into writing books, because I had so many people ask me, how did you go, from complete losing everything you had, and living on a friend's couch, to flying jets for one of the biggest people here in Tampa Bay. And it was real easy, self-taught common sense. So I wrote the book Ditches to Riches. The Ditches to Riches I use, and I'm doing public speaking now, where I speak to people that are going through adversity in life. Maybe they're coming out of a rehab, or maybe they're coming out of incarceration, and they just don't know, they don't have the tools to move from that particular moment in their life to become successful, contributing people of society. So, and that's what they need, and that's the tool. So I'm really, I've got a lot of opportunities that are coming forth with me with podcasts. I'm helping millennials with the Millennial Boom with Patrick Kelly. I'm meeting with him on Thursday. We're doing a podcast, just kind of working with people that can't find their way. Maybe people are getting out of college and high school and saying, okay, now what? Because there really isn't a book when you're born on how to become successful. And what people don't realize is success is easy. You just have to apply the right steps and create the goals to create your vision. Once you accomplish your goal, you've accomplished your vision that you're working towards.
Yeah, there's a big pushback now in especially some of the speakers that you see out there, the Vaynerchuks and the Cardone, some of these folks out there that are, big time speakers. And, of course, they have more than just their speaking business. But they're talking about, why go to a 4-year school, pay the exorbitant fees? The cost of education at a 4-year university has gone up significantly over the last couple of years, several years. And people are saying, is that degree worth all the debt that you get? And then some people's answer is no, it's not. The School of Hard Knocks can teach you a lot of lessons. And then if you apply it to something that you're something that you're passionate about, finding a niche and then being really good at that niche and going into it, that's a way that you can really make wealth as well.
It is. I know more millionaires that only have a high school degree than I do people that graduated with a 4-year or 6-year college degree. Because a lot of the people that you'll see working at places like fast food restaurants, they have a 4-year degree, and they just don't know how to apply that. Yeah. My degree is in architecture, design, construction, technology, and I fly planes. So I really don't even utilize my degree at all. Right. I'm flying, I fly jets. And now my hobby, which has turned into my passion, is help teaching people how you do that.
Yep.
You might not be working in your field, but that's okay. There's still opportunities out there that you can become very successful, but it has to be passion. I mean, you have to want to do that. I talk about in the book, and you spoke earlier on the show today about the most stressful times in people's lives when they have heart attacks, and this American Heart Association put this out, is on a Monday morning between the hours of 7 and 9 a.m. People are so stressed out because they hate the job they're going to that's when they found 85% of the heart attacks happen. And I thought that was astonishing. And that's part of my book. Also, health is wealth. That's another chapter I have in my book. So it's all mental mindset and where you're going, and creating proper steps to get there.
Yeah, Captain Will Smith here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And where can they find your books?
They can go online to Amazon.com. That's the most common one. And they have both books are on there. Even the one we co-authored together, your first one came out, it pops up as well.
Nice.
Or they can go to CaptainWillSmith.com. If you want a signed copy, you can go straight to that website. You can order online, and I'll autograph and send you a signed copy. But it's you can go to either one. The pricing is the same.
So before the break, I teased this. We talked about the plane being accidentally shot down, and it was coming off the heels of some tensions between the U.S. and Iran. What as a pilot, that's got to freak you out. I mean, you're flying over what should be normal airspace, right?
Well, it's scary, but at the same time, the FAA did not allow any of our aircraft to fly over there. And they did it for a reason. It's kind of like you teach your kids not to play a fire because they'll burn their hands. Well, these people burnt down the entire house on this one, and took 176 lives with them. It was just they're not educated. They made a mistake, and unfortunately, there was a lot of lives taken from that. My question is, with the airline, they should have not been flying over hostile airspace.
Yeah,
they're too close to where missiles are flying. I mean, I wouldn't go do that. I wouldn't say, if someone announced the day before that missiles are being launched, I'm not going to take off an airplane and fly through that hot area.
Yeah.
So you got a hot LZ going on, and it's just one of those common sense things that common sense is not so common. But it's unfortunate. It happened, but it is scary. And it's just one of those things that hopefully, that'll never, ever happen again. But sometimes mistakes like this happen and people learn from it.
Yeah, and the plane originated from Ukraine.
That's correct.
So that that's got to probably upset the Russians there as well.
Well, I'm sure it's going to create hostility, especially what's going on with Iran right now, and they're trying to cover it up. If you make a mistake, don't lie about it. But it seems like what politicians and governments do. They make a mistake and they want to lie to the people.
Did they come out and say that they owned up to it, right?
They finally owned up to it after the
cover
fact. But I mean, you don't go out and do something like that and try to lie about it, because your credibility at that point is nowhere.
Well, that's why we don't want them to get a nuke, right?
Right, exactly. Because if they can do that with a 40-year-old missile, Russian missile, what are they going to do with nuclear arms? And that's the scary part. Some people just do not have the mentality, the knowledge, and the responsibility to deal with things like that.
Yeah. We're talking with Captain Will Smith here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, a lot of young folks, or even people looking for a career change right now, we were talking before the show about what an opportunity there might be in aviation, and it's all about the aging workforce in the United States, a lot of the airline workers. Give us that insight.
Well, right now, the next 3 years, 40% of our airline pilots are going to hit their mandatory retirement of age 65.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's almost half the industry they're going to lose pilots. So there is a huge, and we can't fill it fast enough. Right now, the airlines are giving anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 sign-on bonuses. They will help educate. It's a lot easier for someone that says, well, how much does it cost? Well, it's not cheap. It's expensive. However, because of the rate that these pilots get paid per day or a salary, the average rate is about $800 a day for a pilot. Some corporate pilots make up to $1,500 a day.
Wow.
And starting out, you're looking at maybe $500 a day. So when you add these up, there's enough income to pay back that loan a lot quicker than going to get a master's degree from a university that takes you half your life to pay back.
Yeah.
So this is something that'll get paid back in 2 to 3 years versus 10 to 20.
Yeah, and almost, from what it sounds like, guaranteed job placement.
Oh, it is because there is a huge bottleneck from the training aspect to getting the pilots that have to have 1,500 hours to fly for the airlines.
Yeah.
So they're because of the 10-year law after 9/11 and then the housing boom happened, there was no one training. So we had to make up for it. The FAA solution was we'll add 5 years onto the mandatory, because the mandatory retirement used to be 60. Then they bumped it up to 65 to add an extra 5 years to try to fill that need.
Makes sense.
That deficit that we have in the industry, but that didn't work.
Yeah.
We still will have that deficit, and you can sign your ticket. If you're coming out of high school and you want to go to the airlines, hit like Embry-Riddle over in Daytona.
Yep.
You got Phoenix East over in Orlando, and become an airline pilot. And it's not just pilots; it's also people. Maybe you don't like to fly planes. Just the flight attendants. They're getting sign-on bonuses, and they're making a good retirement.
Now, are you training still too? Private?
My training I do now is for insurance companies, and then I'll do like IPCs or biannual flight reviews for people.
IPC
is a instrument pilot proficiency check, and all pilots have to go through that every 6 months if they're not staying proficient, and that's just a safety thing.
Yeah.
So I'll do those hands-on training right now. I fly 4 different jets now, so I really don't have the time to dedicate to the student.
Yeah.
But I do seminars and speak about different topics on aviation. Flying as a student, and give them a direct track on how to start their career.
Very cool. Good stuff. That's Captain Will Smith. Check him out online, CaptainWillSmith.com. You can buy his books there as well. And we also have H.L. Allen coming up here. We're going to talk about identity theft prevention, recovery as well, maybe jump into a little bit of credit improvement as well with our friend. We got William Crawley on the other side of what you're doing there. But stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Tangier Star.
The 62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember it.
Ask me about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. We've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I want to let you know about a couple of hot listings that we've got here in Tampa Bay. 861 Mandalay Avenue on Clearwater Beach. This is a gorgeous beach property. If you're looking for a beach home, this is definitely something you want to look at. 861 Mandalay Avenue, Clearwater Beach. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. You've got a 3rd bedroom in the back. We can't technically promote it that way because it doesn't have a closet in there, but it's got one of the coolest little party areas in the middle. It's got a cool lanai, outdoor kitchen, outdoor entertainment space, outdoor shower as well. And you're literally 200 steps and you are on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of North Clearwater Beach. You're in the same neighborhood as Hulk Hogan, CEO of Spanx. A lot of cool opportunities to live, work, and play in one of the best beaches in the United States, consistently voted top beach in the United States, St. Pete Beach and Clearwater Beach, that is. And also property in Tarpon Springs, 216 North Spring Boulevard in Tarpon Springs. Now, this is a property that its walkability is really cool as well. You've got walkability to restaurants, the waterfront right there across the street on the other side of Spring Boulevard. But this property is completely decked out with all upgrades throughout. Beautiful flooring, beautiful tile, wood floors. The kitchen is upgraded. There's room in the back for a pool as well. And it's got a complete, one of those stilted homes that has that whole downstairs area that could be built out for whatever you'd like to make it. Maybe a home-based business or something along those lines. 216 North Spring Boulevard, Tarpon Springs. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com for all the hot real estate listings here in Tampa Bay. All right, let's give a shout out to Infinity Medical Institute, infinitymedicalinstitute.com, and over 40,000 patients successfully treated with their bio-natural hormone replacement therapy right here in Tampa Bay. And they are on West Shore Boulevard, just down the street from our studio here. And Infinity Medical Institute, over 10 years in the business, and they offer low T therapy, weight loss plans, cosmetic services such as Botox, improved sexual wellness, and increased energy as well. And they also, Michael and Kat Montemuro have told me they've got stem cells coming out very soon. And I saw them also on the cover of Florida Healthcare News as well. I put a tweet out and a post about that on our page. Infinity Medical Institute. Check them out online. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you and take them up on special offers and incentives right here in Tampa Bay. Longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show, Infinity Medical Institute. All right, back here in studio, our goal is to help you win. We just heard from Captain Will Smith. We're going to hear more from Captain Will in our lightning round as well coming up. But now let's chat a little bit here with H.L. Allen. ID Shield is his company. And identity theft, it's on the rise, man.
Oh, yes. In fact, being that we're in tax season, a lot of people they're going to become a victim of identity theft. And what I recommend, as soon as you get your tax information, you need to file right away, because the later you wait, guess what? You become a victim of identity theft. And every 2 seconds, someone become a victim of identity theft. And this is right now, it's a fast-growing crime in America, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Over 15 million United States residents have their identities used fraudulently, and the financial losses totaling upwards of $50 billion.
That's correct. And with identity theft, a lot of criminals, instead of them going to work every day, they stealing your information. Instead of them going to a bank, holding up a bank, they pretty much in their pajamas stealing your information right at their home.
Yeah.
And I often tell parents, make sure your kids are taken care of, because kids are a big victim of identity theft. In fact, last year we had over 500,000 kids that were a victim of identity theft.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are they doing with kids' identity?
Basically, kids, they have a clean record. I mean, they have no credit. I mean, they don't have any credit established. So what the crooks are doing, and I call them crooks, they basically get the kids' information and go out or buy a home with their information. They buy motorcycle, they buy all kinds of stuff. And when the kid, let's say when they turn 15, get ready to get their first job, someone already have a job in their name. When they 18 years old, get ready to go to college, someone already attended that college. So
wow.
their life is messed up. In fact, years ago, we were doing an identity theft presentation, and there was a lady that was in the audience. Her mom stole her information, and her mom passed, God bless her soul. But if the daughter get pulled over, she have a warrant for her arrest.
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough news there, man.
Yes.
So we're talking with H.L. Allen here in studio, ID Shield, Legal Shield. Talk to us about the business that you offer. Then you're helping people combat this.
Yes. And what we do, we offer this to small companies, large companies. Basically, anytime I'm talking to a business owner, I ask them, if one of your employees became a victim of identity theft, or if you had a data breach, what do you do? What do you have in place? Most times they just give them the deer in the headlight look. They don't have anything. And when that happens and stuff, we offer our benefits. In fact, Hillsborough Sheriff's Department, those are our client, all the state troopers out there have our client, because anytime, just like when I was in the military, anytime a person has a situation on their mind, especially identity theft, that mind is not going to be on that job. That mind going to be everywhere else. It's like, am I going to go get arrested? Imagine you going down the road, minding your own business, and you get pulled over, and you have a warrant out for your arrest. How you going to explain that? What you going to do?
Yeah.
And with identity theft, you're guilty to proving innocent. You got to prove that's not me, because law enforcement hear that all the time. That's not me. But we're going to take you to jail. What if it's on the weekend?
Let them sort it out, right?
Exactly.
They're going to take you down, let you sort it out, and then you're just sitting in there over the weekend because you can't get anybody on the phone, bail bondsmen or whoever.
Exactly.
You need to get
job sensitivity. What if they're an airline pilot or something, and then they lose their job?
Yeah,
exactly.
You lose your career over that.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to consider when it comes to identity theft.
Yeah. In fact, they had this one gentleman. He was making six figures per year, and he was in the military, and he had a top secret clearance. And anytime that information get compromised, you lost that clearance. Here's a gentleman went from making six figures per year to $6 an hour.
Wow.
I mean, his whole life was messed up. He's still trying to straighten it. And hopefully he can get it straightened out by now. But as of last time I heard about it and read about this, it's still going on.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
And the sophistication level of these thieves, these crooks, are it's growing. And a lot of them are linked to organized crime.
Yeah, exactly. And see, that's areas of identity theft. We talking about driving license. Someone getting your driving license and basically using your information. Medical. Someone getting your medical information and basically messing up your life. I mean, what if you get the wrong blood transfusion? You're gone. Tax. We're in tax season now. And so what if somebody are filing your name?
Yeah.
I mean, it would take forever to get your money back. You're tired of waiting, but what can you do? I
remember hearing about that a few years ago as well. They were back when they were mailing out the preloaded debit cards.
Yeah.
That was the way they were paying people.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing that anymore. I hope not. But that's the easy one to fake it, get it in the mail. Boom! Now I got that debit card. I just go start spending.
Yeah. And Rita, I'm so adamant about identity theft. I've been a victim of identity theft. A lot of other veterans have, and thank God, because I had Legal Shield, an ID Shield, I had someone to go to work for me. But what if you don't have that luxury? Had one gentleman, he was on his way home from a meeting one night. He got pulled over. He was a victim of identity theft. In fact, he had outstanding warrant in like 5-6 different states.
Wow.
So good thing that the law enforcement and him, they knew each other. So he was able to get his attorney on the phone right away. And
wow.
they straighten that out.
So HL, talk to us about ID Shield and Legal Shield.
Yeah. ID Shield and Legal Shield, to me, is a happy marriage, because anytime you have an identity theft issue, it's going to turn to a legal issue. And it get very expensive. In fact, with our legal service, you have 24/7 access to your attorney. We write letters. We take our speeding tickets. We don't fix speeding tickets, but we do take care of wheels. 7 out of 10 Americans don't have a wheel. They can't afford a wheel. But Legal Shield, you get a wheel. Contract review. How many times have we signed something we didn't know what we were signing?
Right.
And I'm not talking about a marriage license. I'm just talking about, buying a home, buying a car, or whatever.
Yeah.
You signing something that you don't understand. But with Legal Shield, what you could do, you send that information down to our law firm. They basically look at it for you, and they tell you, okay, sign it, okay, don't.
Yep.
So you're able to save you a lot of money just by having that benefit. IRS issue. How many times, folks get audited by the IRS? Most time you're afraid. But with Legal Shield, we also help you in that area also. So much that we can do. I mean, and I've just done some research. 80% of Americans can't afford an attorney.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's sad. But, with Legal Shield, you can't afford one now.
Well, the savings rate in America has gone into the negatives. I remember a few years ago that, the average person doesn't have savings like they used to back in the 80s.
Right.
There's not an emphasis on that. And there's so much, impulse buys out there. People are buying impulsively. So we're talking with H.L. Allen here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's a retired Master Sergeant as well, a veteran. Again, thank you for your service. But how can our listeners out there, viewers of our TV show, how can they support you, or what's the call to action here?
What they can do, they can go to my website, it's myattorney365.com, or they can call me at 813-629-4642. That's 813-629-4642. And I'm able to sit down with what do you have no employees, what do you have 10,000 employees. We also have the employee benefit Right now, we have over 30,000 companies that offer the benefits to their employees. So if you, I would love to come in and talk to you. One area that I really love to train is identity theft.
MyAttorney365.com.
Yes.
So that's the website, myattorney365.com. H.L. Allen is going to help you out. He's going to walk you through the process, how to get signed up, and it's very minimal cost, isn't it?
Yes, we talking about $24.95. We talking about less than a bottle of water, and if you get the legal shield and identity theft, we talking about less than $50.
Yeah,
I mean, it's money well spent, because when you're talking about an attorney that's going to charge you anywhere from $200, $300, $400 an hour, who can afford that?
Right.
But with legal shield, we have leveled the legal playing field.
That's a legal plan in place. Something happens, you have coverage, and then it's kind of like an insurance policy.
Yes,
think of it that way.
Legal insurance. Yes, yes.
And then also you got one for the gun carriers too, like me, right?
Exactly. In fact, that's another thing I love talking about, because you have a lot of folks carrying guns, but they don't have any kind of protection. Just what if you had to use a weapon? Guess what? You might be going to jail. In fact, there was a gentleman in Texas, and this is a very sad story. Okay, he go outside, someone go in their shed, and those guys have a confrontation. He shoot at the guy. The guy go in a different direction. He shoot again, and he go home. He go home, go back in the house and go to sleep. So he get up the next morning. He go look outside. There's something laying in the yard. He done shot the guy. He hit him in the neck and killed him. And his wife had to get an attorney for him, and that he's gonna get charged with murder.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. It's okay to carry a weapon, but you got to make sure you had a you got to make sure it's legal to carry that weapon. And if you do use that weapon, you need to make sure you have an attorney. And we have what you call gun supplement. And
Gun
it's one of the
supplement.
best gun supplement. Yes.
Yeah, we had Thomas
Gun
King on the show.
supplement,
Of course, Thomas King, you bet him, Florida Firearms Academy.
yes.
That's where we had our Ken Shamrock event as well. And Thomas King, he's lots of stories like that. You know, you're basically committing a crime to stop a crime.
Exactly.
But it's not a crime because you're defending yourself. But you got to prove that in a court of law, and it's all depending on how the circumstances roll out. And unfortunately, it's a fast moving, fluid pace event a lot of times. So I could see how law enforcement's making the error on the side of caution. Let's take everybody to jail, let them sort it out. Is what happens. So all right, stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Support H.L. Allen, ID Shield, and Legal Shield as well. MyAttorney365.com. More from our expert contributors coming up. We're going to jump into our lightning round. We're going to have top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom from our expert contributors here in studio. Also, our feel-good story of the day. A man survives 23 days in Alaskan wilderness after cabin burns down. Find out about that story and more right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it's Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Kansas Star.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember.
Ask me about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As you're super connected. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to...
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back their right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty, #1 real estate company in the world. Leaders in education, training, technology. We got an iBuyer program out there as well. If you're looking for an instant offer, we can make you an instant offer backed by Gary Keller, Keller Williams Realty as well. And a couple of hot listings here. I want to let you know about a property that we've got listed over at 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. Now, this is a gorgeous property, $2 million property listing of mine on the Gulf of Mexico, 6,700 square foot, beautiful property. We actually did a flyover on this property with Juan. He took us up and flew over this property, Harbor Point Drive, Port Richey, and beautiful, beautiful home here. Bay access, bring your boat, of course, and great for entertaining and having some pretty cool parties here. I imagine we can have some good parties there. 4348 Harbor Point Drive, Port Richey. Check it out online. Check them out and see all the pictures, beautiful pictures, video tour, walkthrough, drone photography as well. Harbor Point Drive, Port Richey, one of our hot listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. We also have a lot of vacant land available. I just listed another. If there's any builders, developers, I don't have pictures for this one yet, but right on Bell Lake in Land O'Lakes, I've got $1 million property with 8 lots. 5 of those are on the waterfront. So you got 5 waterfront lots. You can build beautiful homes right on the lake up in Land O'Lakes. But lots of vacant land available as well. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day, and today we have a good one. This is about a man that survived 23 days in the Alaskan wilderness. It was 23 days in sub-zero temperatures of the Alaskan wilderness in a remote, after his remote cabin burned down. So Tyson Steele, 30 years old, he was rescued on January 9th. A helicopter found the 30-year-old waving for help with SOS carved in the snow. Steele told police that the roof of his cabin caught fire after he had burned a big piece of cardboard in his wood stove. And Steele said he managed to grab a handful of supplies from his burning cabin, but most of his possessions didn't make it. His phone was dead with no way to charge it. He had no snow machine, and the nearest neighbor was 20 miles away in the tiny town of Squinton. Trooper Marsh noted. First 2 nights Steele slept in a snow cave, and then just a long story on from that. But what an interesting story. The guy got saved right there. Man survives 23 days in the Alaskan wilderness. Wow, what an adventure that one would be.
Yeah,
that's kind of like the guy, like that movie they made out where he was cave jumping. He was jumping out there in the desert, and he got his arm stuck or whatever. Had to cut his arm off. 127 hours or something like that.
Wow.
Well, you got to be careful. You got to respect nature, that's for sure. Respect Mother Nature. Have a backup plan in place. And so that's our feel-good story of the day. All right, let's jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, we got top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Captain Will Smith.
I would say, and this is kind of offbeat, retirement. A lot of our generation and generations before us have no retirement outlook. And I say that because my mother's 85. She didn't prepare for her retirement, and I'm helping her out in her retirement, her golden years. So that's a big word. I talk about a lot in my book, Ditches to Riches. You guys need to focus on what you're going to do when you cannot work anymore. Social Security is not going to really get you what you need, and so you can live comfortably in your golden years. So start putting away, start thinking about your retirement, and so you can live comfortably.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tony Robbins says, pay yourself first. Take the first 10% of whatever you make, pay yourself first, put that into an interest-bearing account. You don't touch it. It's there. And he tells an awesome story about a gentleman that was a postal worker. I think his name was Leonard, something along the lines of Leonard Samuels, but he was a retired postal worker. He retired as a millionaire because over 30 years he kept putting that first 10% in, and then all of a sudden, how do you? And a lot of people say, well, how do you do that on a modest salary? Well, you just have to make it work. You have to take that first 10%, pay yourself, put it into that retirement plan, and then the power of compounding will come into play, and it'll help you get to that point.
That's correct.
So good stuff. All right, H.L. Allen, give us some top tips, nuggets of advice.
Speaking of retirement, I retired after 24 years from the United States Air Force. And when I retired, it's just like what I want to do. But I had a chance to go on McDeal and work for a while. But one of the biggest concerns now is having your own small business. And Legal Shield, we're actually looking for new folks to come in the company. In fact, our top guy in Legal Shield, his background is real estate, and he's one of the top money earners. And someone that's looking to step into income, they just want just some extra money. Please take a look at Legal Shield because, like I said, we are a growing company. And we're nationwide. I mean, we are in Canada, all 50 states in the United States, and we just need folks to come in that really want to work. I mean, because it's not going to just come. Nobody just going to put anything in your lap. You got to be ready to work.
Yeah. And you got to be diligent.
That's it. Because if you're willing to work, you're going to get to pay. If you're not going to work, you're not going to get to pay. But if you're interested, please get in contact with me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an awesome, opportunity, and it's a system. It's a proven system. Yes. It's a franchise, and really, you just got to be a good networker. Get out there and meet people, network with people. Very similar to real estate. We talk about the opportunities that are here, that are afforded to us in the United States. Again, protected by our veterans, and again, we appreciate all of our veterans out there. We're very veteran friendly here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. A lot of our events are sponsoring, benefiting wounded warriors and those types of places. And the idea is that for veterans, you got great opportunities for real estate. You got zero down loans that you can that you can take advantage of. But if you're looking to, create income, I would say too, the traditional route of doing what your parents want you to do and may not be the actual best way for you. A lot of times people aren't passionate about it. They don't want to go to school. They got 12 years was enough for them, right? But they going to school, finding out. And I remember my uncle was in the school board at one point as well for Hillsborough County, and he had a big emphasis on the teaching the trades. Plumbing, electrical, those types of trades as well. And Captain, you talked about earlier the need for airline pilots. I think that's something that's worth reiterating again.
Yeah, there's a huge need, and how it'll reflect if we don't fill this space is they'll be canceling flights. The cost of the flights will start to increase because there'll be supply and demand at that point. But yeah, it's a great opportunity to get in. The benefits. Some of my friends, their parents were airline pilots, and they're retired. Their pension is $150,000 a year, full medical and benefits to fly wherever they want to on that airline since they're retired for it.
Wow.
So, if it's something for the younger generation to hop on, and if you're undecided, go be a pilot.
Yeah, exactly. And find out what you're passionate about. I would say too, it's about self-awareness, finding out, what you like to do. So many times you're told to do this as an adolescent, and then you get to, college, you really don't know. Like you graduate, and how many times, if you think back, how many times did your career change? Like, in your high school, you say, oh, well, I want to be, I remember for me, I was thinking sports medicine or something along those lines. And then, then I said, well, let me get a business degree because I know business can apply in a lot of different ways. And now, I ended up bouncing around, and then you end up in real estate, for example, which you don't even need a 4-year degree to be in real estate. And, that's kind of the funny thing too, is that you look at some of the hairstylist, for example, is one of the examples. I know it's 200 and something hours to become a hairstylist to cut someone's hair, but it's only 62 hour course to become a real estate license, where you're dealing with people's largest assets and insurance and those types of things. So think about that and see how that applies to you as a potential business owner or a person coming up in the workforce.
Yep.
That's something to consider. So hey, another great show. I want to thank all of our expert contributors here in studio. Captain Will Smith, check him out online, CaptainWillSmith.com. You can find his books there, Falling from the Sky, Ditches to Riches as well. And it's thanks to H.L. Allen as well, Identity Theft Prevention, Legal Shield, ID Shield. And myattorney365.com is his website, myattorney365.com. And, of course, Bilmar Beach Resort, Clyde Smith. Reach out. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take him up on those special offers and incentives. And we always say, please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing. Donate some blood. Lots of ways that you can be a force for good. Swing a hammer for Habitat for Humanity. There's lots of ways that you can be a force for good in the community. And, pay it forward. Do something kind for one another. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.